Welcome to episode 6 of the Well podcast. We are keeping this thing rolling, and you guys know that I am all about wellness, all about fitness, but I'm also about collaboration over currency. A few episodes ago, we talked about collaboration over currency, and now today, I have got some amazing people in the building. I can't wait for you to meet them. These are trainers, coaches, and those who are out in our community doing a great work. And I believe that we're all here today purposefully to leave some things in your hearts and in your mind so that you can activate your wellness, activate your fitness to another level. So I'm going to let each one introduce themselves.
What's up, guys? My name is Austin Parker, AP Fit, ex-college basketball player, love group fitness, do some hip-hop fitness as well, getting the people going, high energy, and do some corporate wellness as well in my business, but super excited to be here with these incredible trainers, and super excited.
Gloria Tarpley, personal trainer, former bodybuilder. I competed in figure for several years.
Awesome.
Rich James, the owner of Performance Health Institute. I've been training for about 25 years. Super excited to get it in with this group today. I specialize in sports performance, Olympic weightlifting, and powerlifting.
AJ Bowles, my business is called The Wedding Trainer. I get people in shape for their weddings, but I also do revenge bodies for the ones getting divorced. I've been training for 16 years, and I got clients from ages 7 to 75, so my style depends on the person.
Hi, my name's Melissa Masonette. I'm a world champion powerlifter. I'm also a fitness professional. I specialize in strength training and really comprehensive exercise, nutrition, and lifestyle solutions.
And I'm Seth Miller, owner of Go Legend Training. I work in strength and conditioning, sports performance, just continuously helping athletes grow from all ages.
Awesome. So good. So let's get into this conversation. Y'all ready?
I'm ready.
Okay, we're going to do this from the heart. Okay, this is an energetic group here. So I want to talk about the origin story, okay, the path to purpose. We all have a pathway. Something led us here. Something awakened in us, and we were like, okay, we're going to help people. Like, I know for me, you all out there probably heard my story. I was 19. I had a cyst on my ovary, got with a naturopath, and he helped me to heal it. Within a week, the cyst dissolved as I got into juicing and superfood nutrition. And then later on, I actually lost a lot of weight after I had my son, and everybody was getting on me about that. So I went to the gym and I started figuring out what supplements to take. I started strength training, and that was my pathway to fitness. So it all came together for me, and I want to hear about from you all. So transformation is not built on hype, right? Every coach, every trainer has a story. And what is your story? How did you get in your career in wellness or fitness? What was the path that led you here?
Mine would just be like empathy. I used to always say when I was little, I want to help people. I never knew really what that meant. I was an athlete, so I was always involved in athletics. But growing up in church, watching a lot of people, be amputees because of diabetes, or be gone too soon because of cardiovascular things that were going on with them, it really was a push and a call. And I really heard God saying, like, I gave you this information and this background not just to work on yourself, but to pull it back to the people that you grew up with and that you see struggling. So mine was like empathy and just like really trying to help people move their bottom line, for sure.
That's awesome. I just want to say something that I really see that in you, Austin, and I just feel your energy and your passion every time I see you online, and it's really great.
For me, taking care of people has always been something that I've done since childhood. And initially, I went to nursing school, and I got through clinicals, I got in clinicals, and I cried almost every day. And my instructor kept telling me, like, you can't take this home with you. and I couldn't separate it. So I thought, what else could I do? I love fitness. Fitness was always an outlet for me. I, always stayed active and worked out or played sports. So I thought, what next? I could be a trainer and I can help people, improve their lives and their health.
That's amazing. That's amazing. If you ever watch Gloria online, she just is such a truth teller. And I love how you share your story and your experiences. And those are the things that draw people to a trainer or to a coach. Are you a real person, or, are you going to be someone that just tells me what to do? Go ahead and do those reps. But Gloria is just that really great example of an overcomer. Yeah.
So what started me on my journey was actually my mama. She was actually Arnold's driver when he started the Arnold Fitness Expo here. She also knew Louis Simmons over at Westside Barbell. When she had me, one of the things she was like, "Hey, I don't want no scrawny, weak son." So she got me.
See, if I do that.
So I started working out. She got me into working out with somebody when I think I was 6. And I remember crying that first session. But it just kind of continued. Then from there, from weightlifting, it was gymnastics. From gymnastics, it was football. And it was something that's just been a part of my life since a very young age.
That's amazing. Well, Rich is the host of our podcast today. We're here at the Performance Health Institute, and you guys got to really check out what he's doing. He's pretty humble, but he's doing a really great work here, bringing a community of trainers and coaches, and we're going to learn more about the facility later, but great job, man.
Thank you.
Yeah.
It all started in a small town of Willacoochee, Georgia. No, I'm joking. no, this is like.
Why are you this way?
I stole that from Cedric Entertainer. That's not me. I'm from Dayton. It started for me at the age of 4. I seen a commercial for a gym, and it was Lou Ferrigno doing preacher curls. Still my favorite machine in the gym today. But the number was 1-800-MORRIS-24. I called it every time I seen the commercial. And then one day they called back and said, "Hey, can you put your mommy on the phone?" I get the phone to my mom. She said, "Hey, they go press charges." But then fast forward, I'm in college, and one of my best friends is like almost 400 pounds, somewhere between 3 and 4. And I'm already in shape, been playing sports my whole life. I started training him. We lose 120 pounds the first year, and then that's what started me off.
That's amazing. Wow. Yeah.
So my story is a little different because no one in my family knows anything about fitness, health, anything. So I kind of stumbled upon fitness out of mental health. So I was in a really dark place and just randomly signed up for a Zumba class. Zumba turned into CrossFit, or CrossFit-esque, boot camp type style, but and then that turned into lifting because turned out I was pretty strong. Mm-hmm. So that's kind of how I started.
That's amazing. That's amazing. Because I just want to say this really quick. That's so powerful because there's so many people out there right now who are struggling mentally. And to be able to relate to someone is really important. I know a lot of the people that I've had the pleasure of working with have overcome serious mental health issues. And so that's powerful. Look forward to hearing more about that story.
So for me, my origin story really comes from being a child. From being a child. So I was born with a heart disease, and I was cured at a young age. But through that time where I dealt with the heart disease, I always had to fight a little bit more with all the sports that I played. I always had to work a little bit harder. And that's where I found intrinsic motivation to push me through that. And then growing up, continued on after I was cured, I knew football was one of my realms that I loved, and I got to play at the collegiate level. And that's where I even grew more in love with training, was at college. The strength coaches I had were mentors to me. They helped me grow mentally, physically, and I learned so much from that. And that's what got me into it and where I wanted to be at the private sector level, especially. And the biggest piece with where I dealt with, it was mental and physical. because I had to be physically kind of behind because of the heart disease. So it messed with me mentally a little bit, but I always found a way to fight through it. And that's where it comes into play with my training now, is that I always help the kids with mental part and also the physical part.
That's amazing, man. Thank you. Thank you so much, Seth, for sharing. And I'm still getting to know AJ, Melissa, and Seth a little bit more. We're going to follow everybody on their social media. That is actually a great segue into our next question. I want to talk to you about the warrior identity. We're going into the next question, which is about the warrior identity. So I notice a lot of trainers, a lot of coaches use this word, and I think it's a part of, what we do. Like, what are some things that the superheroes use that's like consistent? What are some, like, the Avengers? You guys into like the different superheroes? Superpowers, right? Sure. So we talk about being a warrior. We talk about overcoming, and that's my question. There's so much going on in our world today. Imagine just what the impact on people's mental health is every day, waking up to bad news. Every single day, we don't know what we're going to get hit with on the news, in our families, in our communities. And I've learned that I've had to become a warrior. For me, that means that I have to strategize my day. I have to really think about how I'm going to go into the different fires that come my way. And that is, whether it's through movement mastery, making sure that I'm moving every day, making sure I'm tapping into my nutrition, making sure that I'm working on my mindset. So I want you all to talk about, what it means to be a wellness warrior, like in today. How do you see this as a mission, like even beyond fitness? How do you approach your work?
Yeah, there's so much information out here about wellness right now. And there's so many fads, there's so many quick fixes and a lot of things like that. So I would say showing up for people, doing our due diligence, and getting them great information to increase their bottom line. I'd also say literally just the act of being there. People deal with hell throughout their entire day, and they look for that 60 minutes or more, but they really, really look for it. So showing up, positive attitude, ready to push them, that could be the best time of their week. And for a lot of people it is, they have it circled. You can see the energy. So I would just say showing up with great attitude, because, you never know when people might need that.
Absolutely. So true.
I think the bottom line is showing up for yourself in all areas. It's bigger than fitness. It's bigger than nutrition. It's also, a mental journey, and spiritual as well. So I think, like I said, overall, a wellness warrior would be just showing up for yourself.
I love that. Exactly. That's so important. Now, Gloria, do you feel like it's important for someone who's in our field to take that seriously? Or, because there's some people that they just do this as a job, How has that changed for you? How has that changed in terms of how you relate to people, just making sure you show up for yourself as a warrior?
We have to lead by example. I can tell my clients all day long to, go to therapy or to get rest and to sleep or to eat well. But, if I'm not doing those things and showing those things in my own life, I think I just look like a hypocrite. So, I think just being an example for your clients so that, they have somebody to follow.
Mm-hmm. That's really good.
For me, when I think about mindset and identity, I go back to, I was 21, so I actually got my first certification when I was 20, right? And there was a client gave me a really hard time, just not really motivated, not really in the gym to move. They wanted to be more conversational than anything. And I posed a question. I was like, how old are you? And at the time they said, I'm 37. I was like, well, would the 10-year-old you like who you are now? And they sat there and they thought about it, because they were like, who is this 20-something-year-old kid to ask me this, right? And they came back and they said no. And I was like, well, what does that look like, right? What version of yourself did you project from 10 to where you are now, and what did that look like? Okay, well, how can we get there? And it came down to the little habits as far as, one, something as simple as just making your bed every day. Mm-hmm. hey, you don't want to come to the gym? Just come to the gym and walk on the treadmill.
Yeah.
You don't have to lift weights,
Yeah.
right? So wellness warrior is doing the things that you don't want to do,
Yeah.
or just kind of shrinking them a little bit to where you're doing something.
Right. I love that. That's really, really good. Yeah. What about you, AJ?
What's the question again? No, I'm joking.
Wellness warrior talking about AJ.
See, y'all just smile.
It's gonna be cut AJ out.
That's what I wanted y'all to do. I wanted y'all to smile.
Your energy is the
So
bomb. Go ahead.
when my clients come to me, it don't matter how bad their day is, they're gonna come to a smile,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, I can see that. I love
So
it. Big energy.
all day long, I'm smiling all day long. I don't know how not to,
Yes.
but it's all mental. And once they make it to me, then now the discipline's there,
Yeah.
right? So I want to be the best part of people's day.
So give me an example of that. Like what's an example
Okay.
of doing that?
I had a client who sat out in the car and cried before she came in one morning, right? She wanted to go home, didn't want to come in, came in, had one of her best workouts, right? But she
Yeah.
came into a smile.
Right. Right. Because you just bring that energy. I love it. I love showing up with that big energy too.
Yeah.
Wellness warrior means a couple things to me. So I love to inspire people. That's one. I love to help people believe that they are capable of doing hard things. But the other really important aspect is preventative care to me. I think part of my journey was learning, and a lot of the things I learned, I thought that health was for wealthy people. Like we couldn't afford health. But then I learned there's lifestyle, there's nutrition, there's all these things that you can do to empower yourself. So definitely taking care of people in that way and just spreading knowledge.
That's so good. I want to ask you one more question, Melissa. Like for you, what does that process look like when you're showing up for yourself, getting yourself ready for a client who may be frustrated or may be having some really hard issues? How do you enter into that space as a wellness warrior?
I think that you really have to listen to where they are and then prescribe something that they can achieve. Help them with quick wins so that they're empowered to do harder things and just meeting them where they are.
Yeah, that's good.
Yeah.
So my identity for warrior, it kind of goes off of AP over here and Gloria, and with showing up, having a presence matters, especially with athletes, especially all ages, because a lot of times I noticed, well, they look up to us and whatnot, and when you show up with a smile on your face, with good energy, they see that and they know that, okay, he means business. He's not joking around, but also having fun at the same time. But the presence is everything, because it's a scapegoat especially for me with my clients, it's a scapegoat for them. They're able to get away from the outside.
Yeah.
That's home, even though they love their family and whatnot. That's sports, that's school, that's everything. Yeah. They get to actually just take off everything that's off their back and just focus on the workout. They clock in, they get ready to work. The biggest thing I always say to my athletes is you have to be comfortable with being uncomfortable. And that's one of the biggest things, especially for being a warrior, that we deal with every day. So.
That is so, so good. Thank you so much. So the next thing I want to talk about is the wake-up call when change becomes necessary. Like, this is going to be for the people out there who are in crisis. A lot of you are in crisis, and you've probably done that consultation with a trainer or a coach, and you walked away from the opportunity. So we're going to talk to you, each of us are going to talk to you about when change becomes necessary. So you understand how to navigate through that, how to, get with the person that is the right fit for you. Because each of us, we have a different energy. Each trainer, each coach out there, they have their community that they've built. And I love for a person to find the right fit. I never expect a person to just go with me. As a matter of fact, I may recommend that they work with someone else because that's a better fit for them. So we're going to talk to you about the wake-up call. So guys, I want to talk about what was the defining moment or breaking point that forced you to take your health and wellness seriously, and how has that affected the way that you deal with people in crisis?
Yeah. My wake-up call, I don't think it was personal as in my life. When I was a little kid, I saw the Rocky movies, and I just never stopped working out since then. Yeah. My wake up call was I was doing this like radio show, and the guy I would call in on Tuesdays, and the guy I would give a health tip, right? And he was hilarious. He was amazing, super entertaining guy. And we would have these back and forths because he wasn't a guy who was on his health journey. He's like, I'll get it. And I'm kind of riffing with him, but I'm not really giving him that like, hey, bro, we should really go to the gym. We should really work on this. And he ended up having some health complications and ended up passing away, right? So, a couple of opportunities like that in my life, unfortunately, have been there, and we can't save everybody. But when God puts somebody in your life, it's really, really important for you to understand why and have the courage and the boldness to be able to speak up. And you can do it in a fun way, or you can meet them exactly where they are, but make sure that, you don't let that moment slip without helping somebody. So for me, that was a wake-up call to be a lot more bold in what I do.
Absolutely. That is so great. Thank you for sharing that.
Yeah.
So for myself, I come from a long family history of addiction and alcoholism and mental health issues. So growing up in my household, my mom struggled with addiction and alcoholism. I just never wanted to be like her. So for me, exercise and wellness was always an outlet. So so that's kind of where it came from. Like I said, I come from a long history. My mom's parents, my mom, my aunts and uncles, my brother, my cousins, So I wanted it, to stop with me. So exercise and nutrition was always an outlet for me, mentally and physically. And like I said, I just wanted it to stop with me and just have a better life from me forward, with my children as well.
Right. How do you approach that now with some of your clients who may be in crisis, or maybe you're even just prospecting someone, you're trying to bring them in with what you've been through? How is that approach?
Probably just through experience, and I, tell them, my story and how I overcame, and just try to pour into them and let them know that they can overcome as well.
Yeah, that's so good. Love that. Yep.
So I guess that defining moment for me, was, I guess, threats from my mother, since she's the one that pushed me into fitness.
I can't threaten my son like that.
No, but
You're a good son. Yeah, my son was never like.
no, but it really wasn't necessarily like a defining moment in my life. It was just me looking outside, seeing folks that I did not want to be like.
Yeah.
I let other people kind of set that example for me. So that's why I stayed in the gym. I stayed eating healthy, just so I wouldn't go down that same path. Right. And I think a lot of people are also on that same road. And sometimes you get on that road and you just need a little bit of assistance getting off that road.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah. So just one of the things I just want to ask you is your approach when you have people who you're seeing they are in a crisis and they really need this, but maybe they're on the edge of decision.
Yeah. So usually what I do, I build in accountability to my programs. Sometimes it's financial.
Okay, I like that. Yeah, that's a good approach.
And that actually has worked really well for me,
Yeah.
just because everybody likes money, right?
Yes.
Or if you pay money, you want your money back.
Right.
So I incentivize them to keep them going, to build those healthy habits to where it becomes a lifestyle.
Yeah.
And then before they know it, they see the results, and they're like, hey, actually, that wasn't that bad.
Right.
You
right.
know.
They're able to get through the fire.
Yes.
Love that. Yeah. What about you, AJ?
For me, I don't really have like a defining moment. I have like redefining moments. So like maybe like 2017, 2018, my grandma was laying in the bed and couldn't get herself up on her own. She had to have nurses come in, and I never want to be like that. And then 2022, I go to the doctor because I tore my bicep, and then they tell me I got cardiomyopathy. Wow. So then I'm getting opinions. Some of them tell me I'll never work out again. And, I've been working out since I was 4, so I'm like, what am I going to do? So I'm going to the mall, walking around the mall, trying on clothes for cardio, because they tell me not to do anything. They told me to be a couch potato. You know what I mean? I didn't listen, but so those are like redefining moments
Right.
for me to keep working out to stay in shape.
That's really, really good. What about you, Melissa? So working out kind of got me out of crisis. So just, it's something that's a part of my life now. Like it's not something I do, it's just part of my day. When I talk to clients though, not everybody wants to be a competitive powerlifter. So a lot of my consultations are helping people reflect about their own lives. What is your motivation? What is your goal? How is this helping you? How is it hurting you? Why do you need to change? And I just let them tell me what they need, and then we create a plan from there.
Good. I love that.
So for me, the wake-up call was really after I got done playing football. Not having that structure and accountability from all the coaches to continue, I had to create that structure for myself. That was that defining moment for myself. And then when I got into training specifically, it came down to I wanted to always still compete, just because I still had that competitive nature just growing up through sports. So I wanted to compete with all my kids and athletes because it pushes them too. Because like, oh, he's going to show up, he's going to try to do his thing and blah, blah, blah. But it was always fun, and it just made it even more of just a great time because of that. And that was really my wake-up call.
That's really good. AJ, tell me, I'm sorry, Seth. See, you're like grandma forgetting names. Okay. But Seth, tell me, like, when you see a person in crisis, like, let's say somebody is coming in there like, okay, I know I want to train, but they're like in a health crisis. How do you approach that?
The biggest thing is really just making sure that they're not on their own and that they realize they are not on their own. And making sure that they know they have a village around them that will be there for them in all aspects, because we are not in this world alone. And we just need to make sure that it's okay to not be okay, and also voice that you're not okay. Because that's the biggest thing I see a lot of times with athletes is they're afraid to say they're not okay.
Yeah.
And especially after COVID hit in 2020, that's where it affected a lot of mental health, and it made either kids be more open about their mental health and a lot more kids not and close up and try to bottle it and put it down deep inside. And that affected them physically all the time. And I would see it, and I'm like, hey, we got to talk about this. This is the only way we can get through this. And so that's one of those things, is making sure that they know it's okay to not be okay.
Right. I love that. So good. Really, really good. Okay, we got a couple more questions. We're going to get a little bit deeper here. I want to talk about some of the mistakes and misconceptions. So what are the biggest mistakes you see people making in their wellness or fitness journeys, especially as they age? What are some tips you can give the people out there?
I mean, I feel like we could be here for a while for sure. Unfortunately, I wouldn't. For me, like my mind was like, God, this, and so I was thinking like, just to wrap it up into like, the want for like rapid weight loss can be very harmful for the crash diets and the excessive fasting every month and all this stuff. And I would say like tying your wellness journey to aesthetics.
That's good.
Or even to social media now, that's kind of a thing. Because there's no finish line to that.
Yes.
There's always going to be somebody stronger. There's always, that hurt to There's always going to be somebody stronger. There's always going to be somebody who looks better than you. So that journey can be a dangerous one. So I'd say those two are what I see a lot.
That's really good. I want you to talk a little bit more about that, though, like just the social media, the aesthetics. You know, women especially probably see this particular aesthetic that they want. I deal with that all the time. Can you get me a big butt? I can get you well. That's what we do. We can get you well from the inside, get you squatting. You know, your glutes may grow.
For sure.
But like not making that a focus. I mean, people like who want to spot train, especially the women with the glutes. Like they want to come in and just do booty exercises,
double
the
cheeked
whole
out.
workout, every single workout. It's an obsession. So like, how do you help a person get out of that space? It can be very tough. You guys find that sometimes to be tough with like certain people where
I think it definitely depends on the clientele, but I will say like a lot of the people on Instagram who look incredible are the 1% for one, and a lot of the 1% are getting very transparent nowadays and saying like, I'm editing my pictures.
Right.
I'm editing my videos, and they already look incredible. Right. So if somebody who looks incredible is editing their pictures, then you know there's really no finish line.
Right.
So unless you have that like internal love and validation, you're just gonna stay on this hamster wheel that they want you on, really.
Yes.
So I think it's really important to just find your why.
Yes.
And
just really hone into it. I totally agree. I think that that's something that's just so important. I mean, just being a content creator, I've been through seasons like that where it just felt like, oh, I got to edit this or I got to do that. And now I find myself being more raw and being more real so that people can relate to the real journey. Yeah, I'm a warrior and I still will bring the fitness workouts, but it's not, you know, some pseudo version of it. It's really trying to show what's possible, like what you can do, trying to get in your mind. I think that's really important to all you ladies out there and gentlemen too, you know, that you are beautiful. You're fearfully and wonderfully made in God's image. And what you're doing is you're just strengthening what's already on the inside of you. You're finding that warrior within and you're strengthening yourself. Yeah. So we're, warrior. Yes, warrior. Warrior Gloria. Yes, tell us what are your thoughts on that?
I'm going to piggyback off of the social media. I think a lot of people, you know, go to social media for advice, for diets, for workouts. Some of the stuff that you see on social media, you should not be doing. It's just, you know, it's not effective. It's not a smart exercise or even a meal plan. And comparison, you know, a lot of my clients will come and say, I want to look like you.
Right.
Okay, we don't have the same genetics. Yeah. You know, we're not the same age.
Yes.
We don't have, I'm vegetarian, you eat meat, you know. I can do my best, but you're probably not going to look, you know, like my body type.
Right.
So just being confident and comfortable with who people are, and also, like I said, not going to looking at, you know, this trainer or this influencer, you know, and getting advice from those people.
Definitely. That's really good. What about you, Rich?
So I think one of the biggest mistakes that people make are listening to too many coaches, which is huge, right? Because all of us at this table, right, 7 people, we have 7 different styles, 7 different approaches. There's multiple ways to get to the top of a mountain. And I think that's a huge mistake that people make, because what they'll do is, hey, AJ told me to eat this, right? Melissa told me to perform my deadlifts this way. Seth said this way. Which one's right? So they keep trying to mix and match, pitting trainers against each other, end up doing it incorrectly because they're mixing cues. They're not following the nutrition plan completely because Melissa may have told them something completely different than I told them, right? So then they don't see the results, they get discouraged, and then they fall out, and they're back on the couch eating hot Cheetos.
And Grippos.
And Grippos.
Nasty.
You know? And
Can't stand them.
so,
Or McDonald's. Don't eat McDonald's.
so the way to remedy that is to find a coach that you vibe with,
Yeah.
fits your style, and just stick with them. At least give them, 6 months of your time.
Yes.
6 months, you'll know based on your body changes, the recomp, if it's working, if it's not working, find someone else. But also keep constant communication with your coach.
I love that. That's great advice. What about you, AJ?
So I don't think everybody needs a trainer. Some people just need a workout partner, but what everybody needs is a plan. Right? So The problem is, especially with social media, people see exercise and think, if I do that exercise, I'm going to look just like that person.
Yeah.
But that person been working out for 7, 8, 9, 10 years,
Yes.
right? So it's delayed gratification. You get a plan, and you find, if you need a coach, you find a good coach that is knowledgeable enough. Don't just go off of what somebody looks like. Because in this day and age, it's the BBL era, and then now they're shooting content as trainers.
Right.
Right.
Right. A lot of surgery going on out there, y'all.
Yeah, I mean,
There's nothing wrong with that. I don't judge
you got
that, but
the
don't
Drake
base
ab
that
surgery.
on your aesthetics. Like that was something I had to let go of. I was like, I have stretch marks. I've had a child, but I love my body. Like I've just learned to love who I am and embrace, you know, the process. And I think you really become that warrior by doing that, like accepting yourself where you are, that you don't have to show up perfect. Yeah.
I think a lot of people try to skip the fundamentals. They want to over specialize before they have functional movement patterns down, which leads to a lot of problems. Worst case scenario, injury. But I see that happens a lot, and I think that it would be good for people to make sure they have a solid foundation. Because if you can't hold that barbell, then honey, your RDLs are not going to be that heavy.
Tell them again, one more time.
Ladies, you need upper body strength. You need it. How are you going to hold the bar? How are you going to hold the bar?
4 leg days a week.
Can't curl at 15 pounds.
Like, no, that's just functional.
So-
Anatomical point.
Right. So for me, it really comes with going back to that social media aspect. We're in the day and age of social media. It is very, very, very consuming to not only athletes, but adults. And it creates comparison. And comparison to me is the biggest killer. Why I say that is because really it's just you versus you. Are you going to be a better version of yourself than you were the other day? So really it's pushing that they're not trying to be someone, but be a better version of themselves. So I really say comparison is the biggest killer.
Yeah, that's really, really good. Thank you so much. So I have one more question. Had quite a few, but we've been in this conversation for a while now. It's good. Y'all are liking this conversation. This is good. See, there's just such synergy here between us, and what I'm seeing is what's the most powerful thing that I embrace, and I've embraced, the majority of my career, and that is collaboration versus competition. So I want to talk in closing about how do you approach that? What are you looking for, like, in the future? And I'll start with myself. I created the Mark Network for that very purpose. My background is in fitness training and Pilates, dance, all of these aspects. I started to get more into superfood nutrition and really getting people back to the earth. A lot of things that I do with our community, it's a little bit avant-garde, like we're getting ready to go to visit some farms. I just like to get people into the earth. Like, let's go get in the soil. That's kind of where I've evolved into. But what it has done is it allowed me to be very collaborative with others. And I really believe in that. If you don't know anything about me, that is my thing. I want to see all the superheroes, the Avengers. Who are the other ones? What are the other groups? DC Comics? Fantastic Four. Whoever you are in your community, get together. Some of the things that I think are really powerful is collaborating for the youth. Like maybe out of this we can talk about doing something together in the community where we bring the youth out and we inspire them and inspire others. There's room for everybody. There really is. How many people we got in Columbus, Ohio? What's the population here? Anybody know? It's a lot of people, a lot of needs. And like we were saying earlier, every person will connect with the person they need to connect with. So let's talk about collaboration. What are some things you're doing to collaborate? How do you foster that? What's your belief in that?
Yeah. I love how you said synergy. I think collaboration, that's the pillar of collaboration. I've, made mistakes. in collaboration.
Keep it real.
No, for sure. And I've reached out to people who were, in my eyes, this, in order for the workout or the session to just be I'm trying to stay appropriate, not a contest to where we're seeing how great we are. You know, it's competition.
Yeah.
And so my biggest pillars are like, are you professional, and are you like, do you not lead with pride, right? Because the biggest thing, we're helping people. When we are rock stars, we're awesome, but at the end of the day, we're here to serve people. So if the person's professional and they don't have a lot of ego around what they do, it's amazing to collab. We've collaborated with like the Urban League and different things like that. We've collaborated with like Franklin County Public Health. In different ways like that. And collaborating with trainers is, for me, it's just about synergy. Yeah. And do we have the same mindset about it? It's not about followers. It's not about like how the numbers, you know what I'm saying? It's really, really about, are we in the same mindset to serve the people?
Absolutely. Good answer. Love that.
I have not collaborated with another trainer lately, but where I see myself collaborating currently in the space that I'm in is in mental health. Yeah. I send a lot of my clients, or I refer a lot of my clients to my therapist and to other therapists. I'm not sure if my therapist is accepting any more patients, but I also refer other therapists throughout the city to my clients, as well as physical therapists, like people that I've used and people that I have seen success with. I tend to refer them, so that's how I currently collab with other people. Mm-hmm. I think that there's enough money in Columbus, Ohio for all of us to get money. Some people are very, I don't even know the word, but they hate to refer people, or even another trainer. I send people to other trainers all the time. I am not everybody's cup of tea, and my schedule is also very crazy, so it doesn't work for a lot of people. Right. I always refer people to other trainers as well. There's enough money out here for everybody, and go get it.
Okay. Go get it. Go get it. Exactly. Okay, we can all eat and feed the people too, So and before I move on, I want to just paint a picture. You guys know that I love Michael Jackson. Like, I'm not just a Michael Jackson fan, but Michael Jackson's my hero, and I don't care about letting anybody know that. And this is why. The reason I love Michael Jackson is that in the 1980s, Michael Jackson did We Are the World, and he brought together some of the greatest stars to sing We Are the World. But do you know that We Are the World ended half of world hunger in the 80s? That's so powerful. That collaboration impacted the world so greatly, and I always hold on to that. I just think, like, I don't know what it may be. I don't know what the collaboration. Outside of fitness, I'm creative, so I'm a filmmaker, actress, and I also sing, and I use just all of my creative power for philanthropy. That's ultimately my goal. Even with the Mark, even though I work with high achievers and purpose-driven leaders, that's my niche. My ultimate goal is inner city restoration. So whatever I'm working on, I'm thinking about the end goal. I'm thinking I want to see the ghettos have like farms in them. I want to see the boys and the girls in the ghettos digging in the soil and farming. I just have this whole vision that I hold on to. So collaboration's really important, like in those sort of visions. So talk to us about, you are a collaborator. That's why you created the Performance Health Institute. Talk to us.
Yeah, so I believe heavily in collaboration. As Coach Watt said, I created the Performance Health Institute just to fully integrate nutrition, wellness, aesthetics, recovery, all under one roof. All the time, Gloria can attest to this. I always send her clients all the time as they come through the door. If I identify that they're, I might not be their cup of tea. In 2023, I created a nonprofit called Infinite Impact, right? It started out with disadvantaged youth, but recently AJ and I have partnered and collaborated, because what we're doing, we're focusing on young girls starting at age 8 to provide grooming and appropriate behavior education.
Yes, so good, guys.
So they can identify when an adult is attempting to take advantage of them, and then just giving them a pathway to some type of authority figure to be able to report.
Thank you so much for that,
Yeah.
guys. That really, really means, that means so much. See, that's what I'm talking about, guys. That means, I'm gonna just grab the mic for a moment. That means so much. And please just make sure that we get that information so we can get it out there to the community. To be two men of color, especially, reaching out into the community, reaching out to girls. There's something powerful about men reaching out to girls and creating safety. That's very, very important. So thank you for that work. Yep. AJ, you want to share anything about that?
Well, what Rich left out was the second part of the nonprofit, using health, exercise, nutrition, and wellness to help women transitioning from sex trafficking.
Yeah.
So that's a whole nother tier to
A whole
it.
another tier. That's powerful. That's so powerful. And I do want to say too, just we don't leave the boys out. That boys experience CSA as well. Okay, because I know we always hone in on the girls, so we want to support all of the young men out there who are overcomers of that as well.
Yeah, actually, girls are our focus, but we include everyone.
Absolutely.
Yeah, and like AJ mentioned, integrating nutrition and fitness into it, started because, as we watch people get stronger, what do they get?
Yeah.
More confident.
More confident, yes. That's been a big part. That's been a big part of my healing. You all have seen an episode where I talk about being an overcomer of CSA, and that's been a big part of my healing, was gaining my confidence and healing to the point where I also was able to forgive that season of my life so I could move forward. So wellness, fitness, it's a big part of that for any of you out there who are overcoming, or maybe you're just really struggling with facing your childhood trauma, that, you too can use wellness, you can use fitness, you can get with people who really care about you to help you become an overcomer.
Another initiative that we haven't gotten to yet that we talked about, actually it was the first one we talked about, was making like a transitional home for morbidly obese people. And to get their health and wellness plus their wealth all together, because once you start to look better, you start getting more connections, better jobs, and it's a thing.
Yeah.
So later down the line, we're gonna get to that.
Take a moment to talk to somebody out there who is morbidly obese, because that is an issue that can create a lot of hindrance, like not being able to get out your home, not even being able to get down the stairs,
Oh, yeah.
What's your vision for that
So
home?
in 2023, I had 4 clients whose weight came to about 1850.
Wow.
So one of them was using a walker, and she came to me to lose enough weight so she can get a surgery. I can't remember what surgery. We lost 48 pounds in like 2 months, just because she was moving her body. And then she gave up.
Yeah.
Then she FaceTimed me maybe like 3 or 4 months down the road saying thank you right before she went into surgery.
Right.
Now she's doing a lot better.
She's doing better.
Uh-huh. But the first step is just moving your body.
Yeah.
Yep.
Absolutely.
So my ecosystem is really intra-lifetime at this point. So we really empower members, clients there, but I'd be happy to collaborate outside of Lifetime in any type of capacity anybody thinks of. I'd be happy to help.
Tell us some of the things you all are doing at Lifetime in terms of like collaborations and your programming.
Yeah, so really at Lifetime, we focus on comprehensive programs. So that includes exercise, nutrition, mobility, recovery, metabolic health. Mm-hmm. So we really take a holistic approach to health. And in our club, we have everything you could think of. Everything. Yeah, we have all the things. You can really spend 3 hours there easily. It's kind of crazy. But that's what we focus on, because we find that sustainability is really about approaching all of those aspects and not just, picking and choosing.
Okay, awesome. Good stuff.
Yeah, for me, for collaborating, I've not really collaborated a lot, but I have been able to collaborate with people outside of training. For example, with a lot of my collegiate athletes, as we're now in a world of NIL, name, image, likeness, we're dealing with money. And a lot of my kids that I've had are dealing with money they've never seen before. So one of the things I've done is I actually collaborated with a financial firm, Schaefer Capital, in helping them with kind of getting the manage of their money and being able to grow that, because there is going to be a day when the sports door is going to shut and you won't have that sport anymore. And so you have to be prepared. And if you get the opportunity to gain quite a bit of money, as some of these athletes are right now, take advantage of it. So that's one of the things I did, was collaborate with them, and it's really made a difference as it helps them. And hopefully it can create generational wealth.
That is so powerful, man. You see, just this opens up a world for you all out there when you connect with the coach, when you connect with a visionary. What I've learned from this conversation with all of you, that you're visionaries. You have a vision, you have insight, and you have a heart. You have a heart to serve. And I just want to thank you for the work that you do. May it continue to prosper. May you continue to make an impact. And may we all just find, I feel like we're going to do something together. I don't know what it is yet. We may just show up and come and snatch Grippos at y'all's hands and some capes. We might just come in, I don't know, we might just say, we here. We just start knocking at people's doors. Y'all want to do that? Y'all want to look, Rich will lead the way. Okay, Rich is going to be, we come in, okay, and Glory gonna rub your back. Come on, baby. Everything's gonna be okay. Look, okay? Right. Austin's gonna be like, come on, let's dance. Yes, well, I love this. This has been so much fun. I'm even more inspired in the work that I do and what we're doing to make an impact. So we're just gonna ask one more question, or actually just what I want you to do is just leave the audience with something. What's on your heart that you want to just tell people? It's like a fire in your heart. You want to tell everybody out there. Look directly at the camera and tell them something, Austin.
Yeah. I was saying, get with a community around you, regardless if it's trainers or whoever, who really, really care about you, who can push you forward. You're kind of the product of your environment. So if you're in a bad situation, relationship, job, your life can change once you make a decision. So you're never trapped. A lot of people, I've been in this spot where I felt so depressed and so trapped, but a different life is at the point of just making a different decision. So I would say get around some great people who are gonna pump life back into you, so whatever you're dealing with, you can kind of get a different perspective on it.
That's good stuff.
I would say you have to take care of yourself first and foremost. If you're not healthy, you can't take care of the others around you. So make yourself a priority with wellness. Again, that's not just physical, it's mental and spiritual as well.
So good.
I think that if you're in a space where accountability in the past has been an issue, losing motivation has been an issue, you like connecting with people, you like, being surrounded by folks that give you a good vibration, right? The one thing that I could suggest for everyone out there is come to Phi.
Death Row Records. Come to Death Row.
You don't like them dancing in your video.
Peanut butter. All right, you ready?
No, go ahead.
Okay, so
Tell the people.
for me, I say just start. So many people want to wait for the right moment. Most of the time, trauma makes people start, but if you can and you can move, just start. It's delayed gratification. You're not going to see nothing right away. And my motto is you engage in results, you embrace the lifestyle.
I'm convicted about a couple of things. But I think one of the most powerful things you can do is change by addition. So a lot of times I see people that they're trying to change by subtraction, by denying themselves things. And I think it's a much more positive way and effective way to change if you add positive behaviors and stop worrying about the negative things.
That's so good. Really good.
And for me, I would have to say is be consistent. One of my favorite sayings is actually, Rome wasn't built in a day, and neither was the body. It takes time.
I love that. Short and sweet. Yes, very good. Well, thank you guys for tuning into the Well podcast. This has been such a great conversation. Don't forget to follow all of us on Instagram and all of our social media handles. Get connected with someone that resonated with you. And we're going to have another conversation and do more things together, right, guys? Have a good one. Bye.